Good morning.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Come on this side. They don't see you.
Yes.
Come here.
Can everybody please just go ahead and mute? Really quick.
Yeah. I don't know how.
All righty, give me one moment. We're going to start briefly. Let me see. Oh, here it goes right here. Can everybody see me? Can you shake your heads? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can be seen and heard.
Okay, cool.
Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. I'm gonna give a couple of people a couple of more minutes just to log on and then we'll get started. Give us a couple more minutes. We're trying to let the speakers get on.
Okay.
One moment.
Hello? Hold on one second. I can't hear you. Trying to get on.
Can you hear me?
Yep. What's up, Lex?
Hey. Hey, Tevin. Okay, so since all of our speakers are here, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and introduce myself and what this is about. So my name is Alexis Atkins. I'm the CEO and founder of Savish LLC. It is a women's empowerment lifestyle brand. So we try to strive to empower women on a daily basis. I have a blog, a website. I have one annual event, and then this conference that we're just now starting this year. But it's so awesome because even in these uncertain times, we're able to come together. But today we are specifically talking about relationships, love, and we're also talking about self-care from a male's perspective. So we have two guests here, which is Tevin Smith and Samson Baldwin. I'll let them introduce themselves briefly. We have about 40 minutes, and these are some controversial topics. So I do have some rules for us today, but we definitely just want to get raw and we want to get real, and we want to be able to connect to people, especially when dealing with relationships. So I do want to say that this is not to shame men at all. This is not to shame women, but this is just to understand relationships, to uplift each other, and to bring awareness so we can be better people, especially with divorce rates in America alone being 50%. We need more Black love. We need more healthy relationships, because a lot of relationships around us, are toxic, but that's because we're just not aware. And we're all adults here, so we're going to get into some pretty interesting topics. I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tevin and Samson introduce themselves. Samson, if you want to start, but go ahead and just keep our answers brief today. I know there's going to be some rebuttal. So if you could just use the chats instead of unmuting yourself until it's time to ask questions. For the speakers, I want you to be brief. I want you to be concise, and I want you to be real. Like, we need honesty. We need the truth. We did not come here to play. So without further ado, Samson, go ahead and get into it, and then we will get started with our questions after Tevin as well.
Cool, y'all. So welcome, man. I'm Samson Baldwin. I started an organization called Better You Connect. I'm also a sports performance trainer, and I also am in ministry. I have a young adult ministry that I lead. And it's cool to be on here, man. So appreciate it, Lex, for bringing me on. Of course, you know, I'm in a relationship. Me and my lady have been together for around a year. And she's also into business and ministry and everything with me. So it's cool to be able to open up and talk about this, man. So welcome.
Awesome. Tevin?
Cool. I'm Tevin Smith. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. I'm a community activist, local pastor as well. Recently just got out of a relationship, so I'm cooling, man. Single life is straight right now.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Once again, thank you guys for just being here today. This is Drake Plummer. He's going to talk brother to brother. He's going to be asking some of the questions today, but do you have anything you want to say?
Some raw questions, some serious questions.
Yeah.
No, all the men, I ain't man shaming y'all. Just need some serious questions.
Yes, we are here to break the bro code. Like I said, we're getting raw today. So just be honest, and I guess we can go ahead and just get into it. Like I said, use the comment section, please. Today, we want to hear your input, and if you just have to say something, just say that you want to speak in the chat or raise your hand during this call, and you'll be able to ask questions. Hopefully, we'll have some time at the end, but I'll go ahead and start with Samson Baldwin today. So we're going to open our lucky box full of questions, and we'll get started.
First question.
First up, here we go.
Oh, that's for the ladies. We'll save that one.
Okay, first question. When does a I got my own questions.
All right, yeah. Then feed them to me, bro. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see what questions you got.
Okay. What are some ways that you show a woman that you truly care for her?
Some ways that I truly show a woman that I care for her. Just being patient, man. It was cool as far as in our relationship, man, because like we've been knowing each other for a super long time. And at first, man, like she, like I said, we've been knowing each other since like 6th grade, so she was like really into me at one point as we getting to know each other. But I really wanted to, like, everything about her physically was attractive to me. But I was very interested in seeing everything else, her emotional side and the things that she deal with, and just being there for those things. So like not just loving because she a cool person and everything, but loving all her flaws and understanding all of them and still being okay to love her and be there for her. And then being able to just seek to be the one that provides the things that she needs. You know what I'm saying? Though I'm not giving her everything she needs right now, but I'm increasing my life so that I can kind of be there for her and be that guy that provide the things that she needs from a man.
Okay, that's super dope. We started off good. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to Tevin. Okay, so when in a toxic relationship or an unhealthy relationship, when does a woman know it's okay? Oh, sorry, no, wrong question. But when does a woman know it's okay to let her guard down? What kind of things does a man do to let her know it's okay and that like he's not playing her or anything like that?
Show her that he cares. Letting her know that he's a listening ear. A lot of women are used to men saying, well, I ain't gonna be like, I'm not like your ex. I ain't gonna do what he did, or I'm different. You actually proving to a woman or a girl or whoever she is that you really care, being there for her 100. Because actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
I'm the type of dude, if she got her guard up real heavy, the thing for me is I'm gonna ask her, what did he do wrong? How can I prove and show you that I'm a better man than what he was? Let's work out the kinks of what your last relationship was. So that's helped her out a lot.
Okay, awesome. That's good. We're gonna go ahead. Does anybody have anything to say about that? Really quick.
Input.
I do. Well, as soon as you let your guard down, why is it that men kind of do a flip and get shady? Things start happening when you let that guard down. So is that like a sign of a guy that's in it for the game or not true? Guys, Tevin, guy with the locks, I'm sorry, what's his name?
Samson.
Samson, that's right. Samson and Delilah was thinking about his hair.
Yeah.
Ha!
I feel like sometimes for some guys, man, once that guard is down, like it's kind of a shocker to what some of the things that may happen, because even though we want it to happen, once it happens, like then it's like I was saying, like being able to accept those things. So sometimes it gets on our minds, so we're pondering about it, and we're in our hearts trying to decide, okay, is this something that I want to move forward with, or if it's not, and not that we don't want to be, like we want to keep being around you, so we're not going to just fade away. We'll keep being around you, but in our minds, we may still be thinking like, dang, is this something that I really want to deal with? We're making that decision, not to say because we may get like that we're saying no, or we're saying yes, but in our mind, we may still be deciding that is like we're just kind of really just taking it all in sometimes.
Question.
That makes sense.
Well, I do have, I guess, some rebuttal to that. Why didn't you go through those things before you decided to get into a relationship or have her let her guards down? Well, why wasn't that a conversation before you started to bring her in emotionally?
I kind of wanted to get the guard down.
Let me say,
we start. You go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead, bro. You got it.
All right. Let me say this. My previous relationship, she dealt with some personal issues from the past that she hadn't really had help with. And the thing of it was, I'm the type of dude, I want to know firsthand what's going on with you. Why you so heavy? Why you so hard? She finally let me know some information that happened. And it was some stuff that I couldn't even help her heal from. She had to deal with she was dealing with some toxic things that had happened in her life that she needed to go seek some guidance from somebody else. So once she let her guard down and she's like, it came up, well, I thought that no, I can't. I'm not God. I can't help you with your situations. When it came to that, I just had to back up. It hurt because the thing of it is that all the love and the respect that I gained for her, I guess she was looking for me to give her the answers to help her for something that she had been dealing with for a long time. So.
Okay, awesome. Is everyone good off of that question? We're gonna go ahead and jump into the next one. Awesome. Go ahead. Yep.
So it's Drake and his girlfriend, huh?
Good morning.
Can y'all mute yourselves?
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Oh my gosh. Give me this one.
Some of them.
You want me to word it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so Samson, what are some healthy ways for women to get healthy attention?
To get healthy attention. With me, I like face-to-face conversation. So if like getting away from all the distractions, getting somewhere to where you may be face-to-face and you just have the opportunity to find out more about each other and to have some intimate conversations. I'm one of those guys that I like to really find out what's on the inside and where your thoughts are and how do you work, what makes you tick, and those type of things to where you got my full attention. I feel like you just got to eliminate all the distractions that are around, get away from everybody, and just kind of sit down and what things are there, what's left in your relationship to talk about.
Okay, Tevin.
Say the question one more time, please.
What are some healthy ways for women to get healthy attention?
Make yourself available. He even, like he said, showing attention the best way that you can in a sense, I guess. So, face to face is the best at times. Not
Okay.
always, in the millennial sense, I guess you can say texting all the time. I'm the type of person, I got to see you face to face. We need to talk it out instead of just texting or FaceTime. So.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything to say about that or have anything to add on healthy ways to gain healthy attention?
This is Tasia. I do.
Okay.
I agree with Samson and them just because in experiences, I realize a dude gives you the right type of attention when you show interest in something that they're interested in, or when a woman shows that she really wants to know what he's about, what he has going on. And so I feel like a dude knows what type of attention to provide a girl and what she will accept. So I feel like it's really also based on how we present ourselves and how we go into a situation. If you go in confident and showing that it's more to you and you want to actually have some good dialogue versus focus on, let's say, sexual things, I feel like the dude will provide you with more healthy attention, I guess. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, that's real good, Tasia. Even because of the fact, like, I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it's just about building like good relationships and getting people to really fool with you. And one of the things that it talks about is just showing interest in the things that people care about. So a good way to show attention to a guy is to really like show attention to the things that he care about. And the more you do that, the more he'll realize that you care about him because you care about the things he care about.
Okay, perfect. Tevin, did you have anything else to add?
Hey, I agree with what Samson just said.
Perfect. Next question.
All right. How important is honesty and loyalty in a relationship?
It's very important. You can't have a relationship if you can't be truthful. No point in telling lies. I think from day one, even in the talking stage, you need to be honest, open about everything. Because you can't build a relationship if you don't have trust. If you can't be real and you can't talk about anything, or if you got something to hide, there's no point.
Right.
Okay. And leading into that, when you don't have truth and honesty, sometimes that does end up to people cheating. So can we talk a little bit about that topic? Why do people cheat? We have a couple of backup questions. So it's, why do people cheat? Is it different from men and women from why they cheat? Like, are there logical reasons, different reasons why they cheat? And also, I do have a question. Why do men not give second chances but expect them? So you can answer either of those questions.
Well, my experience with most, like with friends and stuff and just seeing people cheat, most of the time it's just a lack of self-discipline for guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know, like, a lot of times, especially, like, I've heard for, like, women, like, it's an emotional detachment or there's other things that's going on. She might be happy with bro, but for guys, a lot of times, it just be lack of discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because guys are so physically driven. We're just physically driven in the things that we see or whatever, which is fine. That's how God created us. But the fact is, no matter what, you got to be disciplined. Not even though you may see something, not to touch anything, not to go out here and do stuff. Especially with social media, not to be out here DMing, like even like showing other girls attention. Not just having the self-control not to, because you know you with somebody. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys, it get hard. That temptation get there and end up giving in, and then things lead to another, and then he end up doing something with somebody. He actually does love the other girl, but just because he wasn't able to control himself, he then got into a whole nother mess.
Okay, and Tevin, do you have something to piggyback off of that? Or do you want to answer the question, why do men typically and usually not give second chances for women that cheat, but why do they expect them?
That's, like he said, I look at it from the standpoint, if she cheated or if you cheated, you can work through it in certain instances. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I can say from my experience, be real, personally, I was cheated on. don't tell me one thing, and then when I find out the truth, it's completely different. It could have been worked out. I think it could have been resolved, but I'm the type of person when if you showing me that you ain't loyal, it just ain't no point in me going back to it. And that's just, I'm not being selfish, I hope, but that's just the thing. When you've been cheated on numerous times, enough is enough.
Right.
Even from the perspective of men, because I got homeboys. I sit back and listen to them. They got good girls. And I just can't help it, man. It's in me. No, you can help it, bro. It's just your choice. You decided to do that.
Amen. Right. Amen. Amen.
All right, Tracy Atkins.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to say about cheating? Is it okay? Is it not okay? Should you accept that other person? How many chances do you give somebody to cheat?
I say it's not okay. Like, it's never okay on both ends, women or men. I truly don't believe that it's different for men and women to cheat. Some people say when women cheat, it's more emotion in it, and when men cheat, it's not. I just don't agree with it. I don't really have a set reason why I don't, but I feel like if you cheat, then that's something that you have to, there's more insight that you need to deal with and unfold. That's personally how I feel. I feel like it's a lot deeper. Sometimes it could be insecurity. Sometimes it could be self-discipline. But that just means you need to work on yourself as an individual at the end of the day. Because that means, you're not strong enough. You're not strong-willed at that point. So I don't think cheating is okay. I feel like if you cheat, you don't need to be in a relationship.
I feel the same way. What's the purpose of you building something with somebody and you say you love them, but then you turn your back on them and you mess with somebody else? If that's the case, you might as well be single and talk to whoever you want to or date whoever you want to. I'm 28 years old now. What I did when I was 19 or 20 or 21, I'm not gonna do now. I just don't see the purpose of cheating. If you really love somebody and you say you want to be with them or you're talking about marriage or engagement, there's no point in you turning around cheating. Even the smaller, and I'm gonna use this example. I'm a very, I guess you can say, flirtatious person. I have a big bubbly personality. I have a lot of female friends. And any of the women that I date feel as though that I'm cheating because I'm texting or talking to somebody. I just can't help that I'm just a likable person.
Oh no, you can't help that you're a likable person. So when we have to discuss boundaries then, right?
Right. Right. And I tell that straight up. If you can't handle me having female friends, if I can't handle you having male friends, there's no point in us going together. I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm not feeling you, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you because I think if you're with somebody, that main person should have your attention. Yeah, you can look like say they're cute or something, but like actually get to the point of cheating, that's not an option. There's no point in you being with that person.
Okay, so now I do need to ask you, Tevin, will you please define cheating?
Oh, that's the question I had. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, like I said, I was accused of cheating because I was texting. I was friends with somebody. I was giving advice. Now, I consider cheating. Now, I will say, I will tell a woman that she looks good. I'll tell her that she's beautiful. But if I'm going on saying, hey, girl, I got somebody, I'm with this young lady and, we're dating or whatever, but that's cheating in a sense of me. Sleeping with somebody is cheating. I think there's limits to cheating, even flirting in a sense. That's cheating. It depends on, and a lot of people try to cover up and say, well, that ain't cheating. You texting somebody constantly and in a sense you catching feelings for that person, that's cheating. You having a relationship with somebody that's outside of what your main relationship is, that's cheating. It bothers me because I have homeboys, honestly, and I don't care. I get myself in trouble if this leak out or whatever, but
you're breaking boy code, Tevin.
Well, I ain't. It's healthy. My thing of it is, let me say this.
I love it.
We have to get to a point where we be real. A lot of people just think cheating is sex. It's not. You talking to somebody on the regular and, I guess you could say your sideline chick or whatever you want to call it, that's cheating, man. And like I said, going back to myself, I'm a very friendly person. I have plenty of female friends. I can tell when she's flirting, when she's saying stuff that's trying to get me to that point, and I back up and be like, hold up, pause. I'm in a relationship. I don't even want to break the code of what me and my girl got, so I'm just going to excuse myself from talking to you. You got to know how to do that. But, this is a real situation. People try to cover up cheating in so many ways, but you just got to be real about it.
Ayla M, you got something to say? See, you raise your hand.
Yes, I do. Can y'all hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Tevin. So I definitely agree with what Tevin is saying, but I just wanted to say that I think cheating for everybody is something different. So I definitely think that as a couple, you have to discuss that with each other. Speak with each other and say, what's your definition of cheating? What do you see as cheating? Because for everybody, it's gonna be different. Because outside looking in, one person may think, oh, I'm texting somebody, that's not cheating, but your partner may think so. So I think, it depends on the couple and what they think and what they agree is cheating, and, go from there.
I also agree. And to generalize just that statement, I believe if you have to think about if your partner is going to be upset, or if you have to think about, is this right or is this wrong? If you have a gut feeling, that's cheating to me. Like if you have to think, wow, I'm texting this girl, that's cheating. Or I wonder if she's gonna be mad, but I guess she won't, that's cheating. Anything that you have to question, I feel like when dealing with the opposite sex is cheating. And if you would not want it done to you and you're doing it, that is cheating.
Right.
Can I say this? And if I'm taking over, I'm sorry. Like you said, thinking about it. Even if you have, I think going into a relationship in general, if you're a man or a woman, if you have friends, like some girls have male best friends, some dudes have female best friends, and I think when it comes to certain things in a friendship with somebody, you got to know the difference between what you can say and what you can't. Because in a sense, you confiding and saying stuff, I think, to your female best friend or your female male opposite, that can be kind of, I guess, I don't know. Maybe that can be considered cheating too, in a sense. By you, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't pay me no mind.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Well, just like Madison and Tasia in the chat just said, things you do away from me, behind me. If she's your friend, she's my friend, right? If a phone call comes in, you should be able to take it beside me, with me. That person should know my role in your relationship, know that we're in a relationship. When you start having to conceal it, when you step out of the house, that's when you take the call, you do the text. To me, those things are cheating. And to me, I don't think you should open the door for certain things. Whatever you're texting her, come to me, talk to me with that. Because people in relationships, and especially, I know women, I don't know men, but I know women, and I know me, I'm human. If I'm talking to this guy as a friend, we're going to get into certain situations and conversations that will lead into a situation that might allow him to come into my relationship. My guy friend feeds everything that I need, right? And if I have friends, those friends are his friends and my friends together.
Right, that's cool. That's kind of how I kind of handle it myself. I don't really open no doors for anything. If there's a female that comes around, like, I'm going to introduce my shorty first, like, hey, yeah, this is my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, I don't have any secret conversations or stuff. And I feel like that's big, man. It's just being open about who you really is. Like, I don't want to have to live you shouldn't have to live a second life to where you're one person in front of your girl, and then when your girl not around, you may be saying stuff that you usually wouldn't say, or handling certain situations, like a whole nother life that they don't know about. That whole thing with cheating and stuff like that. My biggest thing is if we're in a relationship, no other person should be in our relationship, regardless. They should not cause any problems. And then on top of that, just the headache of cheating. Like, I'm big about having my peace of mind. I already got stuff I'm dealing with myself. Relationships are already tough. I'm not about to do something that's going to bring something else into our relationship that now we got to argue about. I don't feel like trying to hide stuff. I don't feel like being insecure about you doing stuff. Even going back to your other question, that's why I feel like a lot of guys just don't have a short fuse as far as cheating goes, because we don't want to deal with what comes after cheating. Because once you get caught, there's a whole nother headache with forgiveness and hiding. There's everything, man. So my main thing, if you're gonna be real, just be open and be yourself. And if you're not ready to be that person, then just don't be that person.
True.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and go to our next question. Now I will say in about 10 minutes, it does say 11:45, but we do have the unlimited minutes now. So if you want to stay and be a part of the conversation, because I think it is healthy and is a good conversation, then you can stay on if you guys have time for that. If you need to leave, I completely understand. But we're gonna go ahead and get to our next question. Oh, it's on me? Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, Samson. How do you describe the feeling you get when you know she is the one, and what does that look like action-wise?
When I know that she's the one. And what was the second part of the question?
And what does that look like action-wise?
I was just kind of like, how I kind of see it, just how much your life complements each other. Like, it's cool to like somebody, but finding out how things were kind of put together, man. And I'm definitely a man of faith, and I know that God put things together for specific reasons, and looking for those realistic things who say, okay, well, I'm strong at that, she's weak at that, so we complement each other there. Or I'm weak at that, but she makes me stronger here, so we complement it in that. And I feel like once you start seeing those things, then that kind of attraction will start growing deeper than just a physical attraction. And I feel like that's when you really start to feel somebody. I feel like once you find a lot of those complementary ways you are, then it builds a bond with you guys that neither one of y'all want to be without each other. And then after that goes, then it's just more so as far as the action side of it, is you filling those roles of where you're good at to help that person, and to fill in and help build that person's life up. But then also being vulnerable enough to show where you're weak at and show where you're open at, so that person can fill in and make you a better person as well.
Awesome. Does anybody else have anything to say about that? How do you know, for the married people out there, I see a couple of married couples. Can you tell us how you knew that person was the one?
Any married men want to speak? Somebody.
Can you repeat the question?
How do you describe the feeling when you know that she is the one, and what does that look like action-wise?
Well, for me, speaking personally, for me, it was just her genuine concern for me. I knew after being with her that she would make me a better man. So at the time, I had a girlfriend. She was away at school. I met my wife. I broke up with my girlfriend in December of, I think it was like 85 or something like that. And we got married in 86. So it was, I just knew it would be a better thing for me. She would make me a better person. And that's why I married my wife, and we'll be celebrating 34 years of marriage at the end of July 26th.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's what we need more of, for real. But go ahead with your next question. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Uncle Mark.
No problem.
This goes to Tevin.
Okay. What are some general turn-ons or turn-offs that you have when you're looking at a woman?
General turn-ons and turn-offs. Being consistent. Being consistent. Like you said, going back, truth and honesty. Being 100 about everything, that's a big thing for me. Appreciating the little things. I'm old-fashioned, man. That was the problem in my last relationship. She didn't like for me to pull out the chair. She didn't like for me to open the door. She didn't want no flowers.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Like, that's cheesy. She was like, that's cheesy. She was like, I can do it myself. She was a very independent woman. That was a complete turnoff to me. Because I'm a man, like if I'm really liking you and digging you, I'm gonna go out my way to make sure that you feel special in any kind of way. And if you can't receive that to me, that's a problem. So a turn on would be you actually taking the time out your day, and I think communication go both ways, but actually just caring, how your day doing, how was your day, things like that. Just little things like that. Just the simple stuff.
Okay. Samson, any turn offs?
Turn off. That's a good question. I'm gonna turn on. Turn on first. Really, just really being about me, like super, just into kind of who I am for real. Like it's dope to have somebody just super supportive. You know what I'm saying? Like happy to see me and stuff like that. Just making me feel like the king that God made me. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing my speciality in me, and when I can see that she thinks I'm special, that feels good. You know what I'm saying? Because especially like when we got to go into the world and we got so many other things going on in the world, but when all that stuff is over, you know what I'm saying? Having that person that really just looks at you like you're super dope, like I feel like that's a turn on. A turn off would be just not really able to speak. You know what I'm saying? Not really able to communicate as far as like just have open conversations sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just something to where, because it ends up to where you just kind of just sitting around with each other. So I'm really big on just communicating and seeing eye to eye. So when you're not and you just kind of going through the motions, then it's like you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people do that sometimes, just because you get in stuff just gets as far as like you just get into the emotions, get kind of complacent. So just kind of being complacent in a relationship. I would say the turning on is to being really about it and really seeking to help each other grow and not getting complacent in it.
Awesome. And I think I do actually want to answer this question myself. So one thing that is a huge turn off is not being able to understand me, not being able to understand that we are two completely different people. I'm coming into this relationship as somebody, and you should be coming into this relationship with somebody. I shouldn't have to make you. I shouldn't have to, teach you how to be a man. I shouldn't have to teach you how to care for me, how to love me. Of course, we are going to learn how to love each other, but I don't need to heal certain things, or I don't need you to expect that I should have to heal you from something that you should have healed before we got into the relationship. So I think just having space and keeping some of ourselves to ourselves, making sure that we create healthy boundaries and healthy space. I don't need you to be 100% all for me. I need you to be 100% all into God and then to me. So another one of my turn-offs, I guess, is not being spiritual, is not being on the same spiritual wavelength. I need you to believe in who I believe in, what I believe in. So it would be a turn-off for you not to believe in God for me, but the main one is understanding who I am as a person and being willing to understand and work with me. And if there's something you don't like, or something that I do, being willing to communicate, because I can't read your mind. I'm a good person. So if I do something to upset you or to piss you off, I genuinely in my heart did not mean to do that. And I need you to understand me as a person, to understand, to communicate with me enough to know that I would never hurt you. So it's okay to ask me and for us to figure it out and work it out. So that is a huge turn off to me. But some turn ons is just the opposite. Being willing to communicate, to be open, and to understand who I am is the biggest part of me, because I am a handful. So anybody that can understand me or be willing to, that is just like, that's the number one for me right there, because a lot of people can't. And maybe that's just because of who God created me to be. So I need you to speak into me and to know who I am, know who God created me to be, and be willing to work with me and help me get there. So that's my question or my answer.
Honey, raise your hand. You got something to say?
Oh yeah, Honey.
I do. I have two things. So I'm 54. You're 23. Lexi, you'll be 23.
Yeah, I'm 22 right now. I'll be 23.
Okay. So at 54, there are things that I have to accept and be willing to work with. Some people come to you hurt, never having been loved, and don't know how to love. So I'm kind of open. I don't just close the door if there's some issues you're dealing with, as long as you're willing to work through those things. I have a question. I think it was Bruce that answered that he's celebrating 34 years. Was that Bruce?
No, that was my Uncle Mark.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So I see a couple. Bruce, is that your wife? Yeah. So I would like for a couple that's been together to answer that question. Like, can you reiterate the question for us? Just remind us.
It was, what are some turn-ons and turn-offs in a relationship?
Well, no, not that. My question is, what is it that's allowed them to be together? Like, what is a piece of advice that they would give couples that helps the marriage work?
Well, I guess I will respond.
Yeah, we'll too.
Okay. I'll respond with regard to the ability to forgive. I think forgiveness is a huge element of, and it is very conditional, and that's natural because most of us do things conditionally, and that's unfortunate, and that's the part of personal growth that we all have to participate in, because marriage, becoming one, it was what we like to call it, is a journey. It's not a destination. You never arrive. You're always giving. It's selfless. Marriage is selfless, not selfish. And it requires that of you every second of the day in order to be in a healthy relationship. And it costs you something. It costs you your very self.
And for me, I would just add there's really two things. One is that I think it's important to be your partner, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, biggest cheerleader. You know, we all sort of have our own interests and passions and desires, and we have our circle of friends, but I make it very clear that I'm my wife's biggest cheerleader, and I'm always supporting her in what she's doing. And I think that speaks volumes. The other thing I would say is that it's really important to practice empathy. You know, everyone comes with their own set of challenges, and I hate to use the word baggage, but it's like prior experiences. And, you know, there's pain in that sometimes. And you have to acknowledge that, but it's a continuum. And you always have to, I think it's important to step out of yourself and try to look at things from your partner's perspective and just put their interests oftentimes above your own. And when you start to practice that empathy, when you put their needs first, when you are their sort of constant cheerleader, and when you can see things from their perspective, then you're really working as a couple. And it's not about keeping score, it's about the two of you getting to 100. And the reality is sometimes that means she's doing 80 and you're doing 20, and or vice versa, but it really doesn't matter who's doing what. It's looking at the group, the two of you collectively. And when you're getting to 100 collectively, that's when you know you've got the staying power for like a true relationship.
I love that. Getting to 100 together. That's awesome.
You want to add anything?
Awesome. Perfect. We're going to answer a couple more questions, and then I'll let you guys answer questions, whether you want to answer to us or ask a specific person or a specific couple. So we'll go ahead and do 2 more questions. Then we'll do a short Q&A, and then I will let you guys go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, when should women know to leave a relationship?
Say that one more time.
When should women know to leave a relationship?
To leave it?
Exactly.
When bro ain't acting right.
So you don't, my question, because we're a little short-ended there. What are some signs? What are some what's not acting right? And when do you know to stop trying? Because I know the women in my life, you know, they like to try. We like to try, and I think Black women in general have been taught to stick it out, stick around. You know, you don't leave. You just put up with everything. And so I think that's a big part of just our culture, just being the strong Black woman and not stepping away and staying together even when it's hurting you more, to be there than to let go. So when do you know when it's the right time?
My pastor, my pastor at my home church always says you have to learn to leave well enough alone. When he's either way, I mean, if he's making excuses and ain't doing his part, if he's constantly cheating, if he's not treating you the way that you're supposed to be treated as the queen that you are, just walk on, go on. Ain't no point of you staying with somebody who ain't doing you right. I heard a lady say, and I totally disagree with it, but an older lady said, half a cow is better than a whole cow. Man, that's crazy. If he can't give you what you need, there's no point in you being in a relationship with him. It's just let it go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then Madison, I know you had something to say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, when it kind of turns into disrespect, like if you tell him something that you don't like, and then he constantly does it, or he's doing something and you feel some type of way about it and you let him know, but he is still doing those things, at that point it's kind of disrespect. And so you have to respect yourself more in that situation. And so that's when I would say it's time to leave, when he's not listening to you, when he's not even trying to change it all. You have to love yourself more. You have to respect yourself more. So you really need to get on out of that situation.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. We have one more question. Oh, go ahead, Samson.
No, I was just gonna say, man, something that my dad always says to me, is that especially like for the couples that are dating, to identify the things that you don't like about somebody, or the things they do that just irk you, that you can't stand for, and would you be willing to go through that for the rest of your life without that person changing? If that person is doing things that you can't deal with for every day, or things that they do that may last forever, then that's when you know you shouldn't be with that person. But if it's something to where it's like, okay, or even you see that person getting better at it, and there's a process that they're going through, and that person is still devoted to you, then that's another thing. But just kind of identifying those things, the red flags, and seeing if those things you want to put up with.
Awesome.
All right, we got one more question. What are 5 things that you look for in a woman?
Actually, I would like you to answer that question. Why?
Go get him, Drake.
Answer the question. We got the speakers right here. Go ahead, Tevin.
Nah, go ahead. Yeah, true.
What are top 5 things that you look for in a woman?
Top 5 things I look for in a woman. Well, I actually got this. I look for respect. The woman definitely got to respect herself. Sometimes I get discouraged and I need to be lifted up at times. So a woman who lifts me up, God-fearing woman, that should be number 1. Definitely gotta have a relationship with God. Contribution. I feel like a woman should contribute, not just the man put it all in. You know, that's how some of us. Well, that's how I was raised. A man supposed to do everything, but now that I got a little bit older, you know, it's supposed to be 100. And last thing,
Awesome. Does anybody have anything else? What are some other top 5 things that you look for, or something that you say?
Drake, we couldn't hear your last thing. Can you repeat that one?
Oh, I said she got to be beautiful.
Beautiful. And is that just on the outside, Mr. Plummer, or is that inside and out? Beauty is just on the outside?
It's inside and out.
Can I say one thing that I was really surprised that Drake said that I didn't expect was that she has to respect herself, not him. That was awesome. Self-respect.
I think she needs to know God for herself. She has to have a relationship with her family. She has to have some type of drive or motivation. She has to be confident in who she is as a woman. And then the last thing, she has to know how to carry herself in the best way. Because everybody has their own perception of what they want in their mate. But I mean, as long as she knows that she's beautiful, and even if the world doesn't look at her as beautiful, and I think she needs to have some type of confidence about herself. So,
yeah.
Also,
I agree with everything that both of you guys said. Like, hands down. The only thing I would add that I've experienced for myself, man, just looking into the word is that, like, I know that men, we're supposed to be those leaders. And we're supposed to have a vision before we even get into a relationship. And if I have that, then you have to, like, not that if you're my lady, then you're going to support it. You have to be able to drive and nourish me and help give me some of the things I need, because you believe in my vision so much, not a vision for myself, but the vision for our relationship, the vision for our life, for our family. And if you believe in that, then you're pushing it as well. And you're doing the things that we need so that this vision can happen. And that we have an actual goal. So even like, I just know that helps, because when things get rough, at the end of the day, you know, we've got a destination or a direction that we're going in our relationship.
perfect. This is so dope. I love to see it. I love that everybody got involved. So we're gonna stop with the questions right there for right now. But did you guys have any questions that you want answered from couples that you've seen or heard speak today, or individuals? Did you have any last questions?
Questions, comments? Anybody?
Okay, Kayla.
Yeah, so my question is, in regards to dating, like it's kind of like a two-part question, I guess you can say.
Okay.
So do most guys date to just date, or do they date to get married?
I
think it depends on the kind of guy.
I agree. And I also think the level of maturity, maybe the awareness, the knowledge, because there is a term for that. And you're either dating or you're courting. Courting is for a purpose, and dating is just to date around. So you have to know the difference. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but I do think that just takes experience, and you have to ask them as well. And a lot of people shy away from me. What are we? What is this? Where are we going? But those are questions that we need answered before we step into the relationship. And if you can't answer that, then we don't need to be together. So are we dating or are we courting?
That is a difference.
Is dating and courting a real? I'd like to chime in on this one, because dating and courting, I think, is a prerequisite for whether or not you want to move forward. So there is a time and a place and a purpose for dating, because there's a process. So in courting, you're trying to get to know them to see if you want to take it to dating. And then you decide together as a couple that, oh, okay, I think we have some common interests. So we're going to start dating. We're going to start going out. It's more than just a phone call or a text. And then if you decide that, oh, we get along and this is a relationship that I might can see it going somewhere for God's purpose, not for our own, but to glorify God, because as godly woman, I feel like your relationships should do this, that. Then once you determine that, yes, we courted, now we're dating. Oh, is it time to take it to the next level? And so I think there's a time, a place, and a purpose for all of those things to take place before someone decides this is who I want to marry. So I think dating is essential, courting is essential. It's the cornerstone for you becoming a friend to that person, before you dive into marriage and serious relationship.
Perfect. I have one question. I'm just wondering, what inspired you to hold this session today, Alexis?
Yes. So I'm surprised I didn't jump into it before. But this conference, I wanted to host just specifically this conversation because I've been in 1,000,001 toxic relationships, bad relationships with men, even with women. And so I just wanted women to understand, to know, to learn what healthy relationships look like, to know that good men are out there. You don't have to settle, and good men know the good quality of what a relationship would look like. Personally, I don't think that I was shown that. And it's not anybody's fault. And so I kind of had to go into the world and learn these things myself, how to respect myself, how to be a lady, what men should do in a relationship, what men should not do. I unfortunately had to take the hard route. I was in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship for 2 years. And so I knew that God told me that I needed to give what I had to learn on my own, so more people didn't have to go through what I went through, especially women. So that's why I hosted this conversation today, because we have to get back to healthy relationships before the world shows you. I feel like we need to give each other the opportunity to show each other.
Thank you.
Can I ask this question? Maybe. How, and I know we're talking about healthy relationships, but just from a woman's perspective, and I mean, I know everybody's different, but is it, in a sense, and this is asked sometimes, how early, I guess it depends on the relationship, but is it too early sometimes to tell somebody that you love them, or should it be best to tell them that I have a strong like for you?
Does anybody want to answer that?
I will.
Okay.
I think the word love has just been thrown around, haphazardly, if you will. And I think people do have to be careful as to just admitting it or just saying it. Because we say, oh, I love chocolate. I love ice cream. You might like it, but you don't love it. Right. And I think there is, we have to make sure that the feelings are real and they're not superficial. And we have to also know and believe that the other person understands what your truth is. So when you admit that you love someone, that person should really know that you mean it, that it's not just something that you're saying.
Right. Because I'm the type of person, I think in the past, it turned me off, probably I would say a month or two in a relationship. I don't have a problem with telling you I strongly like you. And she got offensive that she said I love you, and I was like, well, I'm not I just being honest. I told her, well, I have a strong like for you. I'm not gonna be able to tell you that I love you just right off, because sometimes as a man we have our guard up, sometimes heavy as well. But
I do have something to say. I think we should definitely be careful with the word love, but I don't think that you should hold anything back if that's how you genuinely truly feel. I think you should take some time to resonate on it, maybe to pray about it, pray that your feelings are genuine, are real, that person will be able to understand you. But I don't think there's a specific time limit. If that's your truth, that's your truth. And if that person is not ready or cannot accept that, then you guys were not meant to be together. That's how I feel about it. But I don't think that we should play games. Like, if I feel a certain way about you, I want to feel that way and I want to express that. I'm not going to sit on it and play a game and wait who says it first. But that's just me. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I do. I say how I feel. So I don't think that there's a specific time for too early or too late. It's whenever you're ready, and everybody is different. Yeah, so do we have one more question for anybody?
Any comments? Hey.
No?
Thank you for this today. It was good.
Yeah, Alexis, thank you.
Yes, no problem. I'm so excited that you guys were supportive and tuned in. I hope you guys gained a lot of information. This was the last informational session, but you can follow my social medias for more self-love, relationship, positive affirmations, whatever you need is at so.savish. I do have a website, so if you want that information, you can just hit me up, hit Drake up, and we'll be able to share that with you. Next week is our last session. That will be a pop-up shop. So if you have any merchandise or you have something you want to share with the world, go ahead and invite people and tag along. But this has been awesome. I'm just speechless. Thank you so much again for everybody just coming out. And that's it for me. If you want to tune back in next week, go ahead. That will be the last session. Other than that, do you have something you want to say?
Alexis, your hosts were awesome. Shout out to Tevin Smith and Samson Baldwin. Awesome.
Follow them on social media. Do y'all want to share y'all social medias?
Yeah, put it in the chat for us.
Yeah, and I actually do mine too. My business one. I do have an annual event every February, so hopefully we'll get ready for that. Other than that, you guys have been awesome. Once again, I cannot express that. Thank you, Tevin. Thank you, Samson. Thank you for everybody that listened in, that had something to say. I think, we were able to empower a lot of people today.
Can you let Tevin and Samson shout out their social media?
Yes. I think put it.
There we go, Samson. Thank you.
Tevin, do you have social media that you want to put out?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Self-love, everybody. Have a great Saturday.
Okay. Have a great one.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Drakey.
All right, see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, aunties, baby.
Bye. Love y'all. See y'all later.